Well, hello and welcome to the Digital Front Door. I'm your host, Scott Benedict. You know, as a lifelong retail merchant, I often find myself visiting retail stores of all types and sizes and formats across the country because my career has kind of led to a fascination with innovation in elements of retail like store design, department layouts, seasonal product displays, new products, new categories, things like that. As the emergence of omnichannel retailing has led to a blurring of the lines between stores and online retail, my visits to stores now have kind of evolved into an interest in seeing how leading retailers integrate digital elements into their physical store experience. Recently, I had the opportunity to walk through Walmart's Elm Springs Supercenter here locally in Northwest Arkansas with Kim Souza, a business writer for the Northwest Arkansas Business Journal. And our visit inspired a story that Kim wrote called Lessons Learned from Walking a Walmart Store. And Kim joins me here today in the studio. And Kim, welcome, and so happy to have you. I know you've been on with Andy a number of times, and you and I have known each other for you. Absolutely happy to have her. I'm kind of curious, what inspired you to want to walk the store and write that story?
Okay, I'm a student of retail. And I know the importance of walking stores. Mm-hmm. You can't be on LinkedIn and not see photos of John Furner and Doug McMillon in different stores every day.
Right.
I know that Sam Walton loved to walk stores. He learned tons from walking stores. Yeah. And so from Sam Walton to Doug McMillon, the visits that they do around the country 3 to 4 days a week, they visit with their people, but they also look and see what's working and what's not working. Right. And I like to shop in stores for that same reason. I like to look at what's working and what's not working, right, and get those takeaways. And so that's why I thought you can always learn something from walking a club or a store.
Without a doubt. It's interesting from your perspective as a journalist, as well as my background as a retailer, we kind of share that common interest and that common desire. And I'm kind of interested from your perspective, both as a journalist and as a consumer. You shop at retail all the time. What do you find the most interesting about what you have learned from all of the conversations and the contacts that you have across the retail community?
Well, I've covered retail for about 12 years, and I've really come to understand that it's a complicated business, mm-hmm, and that so the consumer goes, so the economy goes, so retail goes. Right. Retail is a good barometer for what's happening with consumers, and right, also retail helps manufacturing and supply chain. It supports those industries. And so really, I think it has given me a whole new perspective for what retail is. Yeah. It's not just a job at JCPenney's. It can be a fabulous career in technology and healthcare, yes, and so many different verticals. Yeah. And it's really covering it and being a consumer who covers it. I try to build my sources around academia. Mm-hmm. I look for insiders who can talk about practices and protocol, who could help me understand the workings. It's great to have sources as historians on retail who can give you the big picture and this is why we do things. And also, I have consumer sources because they are the end user of retail. Right. And I think as a reporter, it's important to have sources along that chain so that you can see the big picture. And that's my goal, is to report on the big picture of retail.
So I have to ask you this, and it just occurred to me as you were talking. Now, when you go shopping as a consumer for your own needs, are you shopping?
Both.
I was going to say, as a consumer or as a journalist, or both?
Both.
Sounds like both.
I shop. I do like to shop in stores. Mm-hmm. I do buy tons online. But I'm still critiquing that retailer online for that experience, for that delivery, for how they manage the packaging sizes. I mean, I look at everything, and people don't realize that when I'm in your store, I'm looking at how clean it is. Do you have a restroom?
Yes.
I make note of these things. As a reporter, I also want those things as a consumer too.
Right.
And so they overlap.
Yeah. And I think that's funny because as a merchant, I have the same problem. I can't go shopping for personal needs or with my family and not look at things through the lens of a retailer or merchant. And it sounds like you have kind of a similar experience.
Every country I'm in, every state and city I'm in, if they have a Walmart, I'm in there. I don't follow other retailers to that length.
Yes.
But Walmart is so diverse.
Yes.
You really can learn a lot from being in their stores and their competitor stores. Carrefour in Spain, I learned tons from actually being in that store.
Yes.
And how they are a really tough competitor for Walmart in those markets.
And I do think it's one of the legacies that Mr. Sam left us in this community, and obviously those of us who at one point worked at Walmart and Sam's Club, is getting out into stores and clubs is just part of the heritage of the company.
Yes.
And it's as relevant today as when he was doing it.
Yes.
Just not all of us have our own planes like like he did. Now, the Elm Springs location has been a pilot store for Walmart and a lot of innovations that Walmart has tested and now has begun to kind of roll out more broadly. What do you, from your lens, kind of see as some of the more interesting innovations, perhaps that started in that location that you and I walked and maybe now are finding their way into other locations?
Well, first I'll start with the medical clinic.
Yes, yeah.
That was one of the first ones they did. They did some in Florida, but that was the first one in my driving distance.
Right.
I think that's a great vertical for Walmart. I love that they put it in Springdale. Mm-hmm. I think that it can serve a population that is underserved with healthcare because it's a affordable cash way to get your healthcare. I love that. I also love the electronic store labels that they have, shelf labels.
Yes.
I do shop that store some with my mom.
Yeah.
It's not the store I go to most often, but I see how it helps the personal shoppers find the items. They have the list. They shine the whatever they have, and then the shelf lights up. They know exactly what the product is. That's efficiency.
Right.
You can use your Walmart app and do the same thing.
Right.
It helps you locate just the things you want in a timely fashion, and time is money. Yeah. And I love to see Walmart is using that technology. That's a great store to start it at. I know they're putting it in other stores.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love the layout of the store. I love the shorter aisles placed on an angle. Yeah. Because in the toys, in the makeup, in those areas, it gives them more end caps for promos, special offerings. Yeah. It lets them highlight certain products. Yeah. You don't have that in a long cavernous aisle. Right. So I love that store. It's easy to maneuver. You can see clearly. Yeah. I don't know. I just love that layout. I haven't seen. That was a big departure from what the Walmarts have always been. Right. And that was fresh and new. Those are a couple things I like. So.
Yeah, I know one of the photos that you took the day that we walked the store that made it into your story was in the toy department. Yes. And there's the Lego display, exactly. Yes. And you and I were both kind of enchanted in that kind of being a different experience in that toy section, right?
Section looks like a toy store.
Exactly.
It is a store within a store.
Right.
And that elevates the shopping experience tremendously for a big box. Same thing in the apparel. Yeah. I would love to see that apparel layout in some of the stores like 100 in Bentonville or 5260 in Rogers. Yeah. Those are heavily trafficked stores. Mm-hmm. I can see that type of apparel display where it looks like a Kohl's.
Exactly.
I said that.
What's a little bit more department store like, right?
It looks like the inside of a department store. Yeah. You don't feel like you're in a big box.
Exactly.
And the mannequins they're cute, but that's not what only sells it. It's the way they stack the merchandise. It's the whole layout. It looks like a Gap on the inside. You have these. I talk with my hands. You have these shelves all the way around and these tables in the middle. Yeah. I really love that layout, and I think that it's serving them well. I hear that they're selling more apparel, more home, more baby in that store, and in those stores that have those by the look. Yeah. Scan the QR code and you add all of the things that you can see to your basket.
That is so
digital.
Neat. Yeah.
And that is a step forward. That's kudos.
Yeah, I love that, and I don't think I appreciated it as much as the day you and I walked that location, because they're continuing to iterate and refine and improve that. And it's also something that you wouldn't expect from a mass retailer. It's more a department store-esque element. And obviously, a retailer like Walmart has to do everything with an eye towards being very cost-sensitive and efficient. And here's a way that technology is finding its way into the shopping experience, not just online, but in store. And I think it's so neat how they are using those things together in a way that not only enhances the experience, but obviously, if someone takes advantage of that by the look, now they're buying multiple items.
Yes.
So from a business perspective as a merchant, I love that, because average order size is one of the metrics that retailers love. And if you can solve or provide a solution for a customer, they will reward you with buying more as a retailer or as the brand that's selling that product, right? And that's so neat.
Well, you have so many Walmart store shoppers that never go to Walmart.com. Maybe they go, maybe they have a grocery list they buy, but they don't look at the general merchandise. That opens up Walmart.com for general merchandise to a whole
new audience.
I mean, millions and millions of consumers. And so kudos on that. That was a long time coming, but I like the way they've done it. And like you said, reiterated it and updated it. So.
Indeed. So I know that in your career, you've interviewed a lot of different leaders in retail and in consumer brands. And I'm kind of curious what stands out to you about how those leaders are kind of positioning their brands for the omni-channel shopper.
Some of my favorite interactions have been with Kath McClay. Yeah. She was CEO of Sam's Club. Now she's over international. I got to walk a store with her, walk a club with her. Yeah. And I have to say, I've been super impressed with Sam's Club's technology, innovation, and digital means for years. They've been miles ahead of Walmart in many ways, and they can because of their membership model. Right. But I love her candidness and her leadership style. Yeah. She impressed me. I think she can go a long way. Yeah. Judith McKenna. Yeah. Another leader that, oh my gosh, her footprint on Walmart is huge. Yes. She's now retired. Boo-hoo. I mean, I'm sad to see her go, but glad that she's getting that time with her family. Yes. That lady, she and Tom Ward, also a superstar at Walmart, had radically changed the way Walmart thought about pickup. Yes. Early on, she was COO for Greg Foran, and she put in the academies. Yes. Which was a quick way to train associates, employees for everything from how to pick efficiently to, I don't know, whatever they had to learn. And I think that her foresight, thinking about the employees, thinking about the importance of training, you know that workforce is the core of Walmart's success. Right. Walmart can have all the technology you want, but if it doesn't have the right people, it's not going to succeed. And you've heard that from Doug McMillon, I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
I love Doug McMillon and his look back at history and the way I feel like he's doing and running Walmart the way Sam would applaud.
Yeah.
He really is not about making his mark. He is about moving Walmart forward.
Yes.
Positioning Walmart to be successful for the next 60 years.
Yes.
And he knows that technology is the key to that, but he also knows people is. That's why he's raised wages. That's why has supported employees, promotions. I really think that Walmart has one of the best leadership teams they've had in years.
Yeah.
I don't know how long McMillon will stay at the helm. He's building a home office campus. I don't think he's going to leave before that's finished. He's still a young man.
He is.
But honestly, Ferner also grew up in the company, very forward thinking. I just think the leadership that they have now is what they need to get them to the next level.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I have observed that both as a long-time retailer and as a former associate. And one of the things that really struck me is for years and years, Walmart quarterly reports were record sales, record earnings, and it was just as consistent as could be. And Doug, I'm sure with both the board's support and the Walton family support, said, hey, we're going to have to make some investments to change this company, to your point, to evolve it, to be ready for the next 60 years. And that means we're going to have to sacrifice some short-term results to invest in building a longer-term business that serves where a customer is headed, not where they have been. And because you and I are both students of retailing, we know that the history of retailing is riddled with retailers who were successful at one time doing things a certain way and didn't evolve and change, and the world around them did, and they didn't. And so that kind of leads me to this next question. As you study and cover the retail business, are there things that you see leaders in the broader community, whether they're at retailers or at consumer brands, that they're missing that perhaps that they should pay closer attention to?
Yeah, I'm a critic.
That's part of the job of a journalist, right?
It is, and I'm cynical. I hate that, but the older I get, the worse it is. Honestly, I do. Walmart, they've made great strides in their online user experience, but it's still not where it could be.
Yes.
I tell you, I order a lot of stuff from Amazon and other competitors, and I can get it faster than I can from Walmart delivered to my house. I do not understand that.
Yes.
Now, I can go to the store. They might have it in Springdale, and I can drive down there and pick it up maybe. But for them to get it to my house, it's 3 days still.
Right.
And I don't understand that. Not all things, but still a lot of things.
Yes.
And that, I don't understand when you're Walmart why you can't do better with that. That's a problem they have.
Yes.
Because I give Walmart a chance.
Right.
I look, I compare. If Amazon can get it to me faster, I'll do it.
Right.
I really, and not just Amazon, but other retailers, I use Walgreens, and I know Walgreens has so many problems going on, but I use Walgreens for consumables, for vitamins, for things that they have, and I do it because I can put in my order on their app from my bed on Saturday morning. Before I get up and brush my teeth, bing, your order is ready.
Yeah.
They have a fabulous loyalty program. Yeah. I always have cash to put against the order that they've given me. I can incorporate the coupons, the manufacturer coupons easily. And I drive up to spot number 1. Ding, I'm here. They bring it out to my car. I don't even have to get out of the car. I love their service from the app to the car. It's so efficient. Now, Walgreens has a ton of problems, like I said.
Yes.
But they do have that leg right.
Right.
And if they have it in the store, if it's in stock, I can have it in 10 or 15 minutes if I can get to the store that fast.
Yeah.
I love that. Who else do I like?
Well, and it's kind of leading me to the next question. So let me go ahead and go there. If you look beyond Walmart and Sam's Club, because we're so close to it here in our area, what retailers, and you mentioned Walgreens as an example, who do you find interesting? But I want to ask you through the lens of omni-channel specifically. Okay. And who, in your view, as you look across the industry, is really doing some interesting things?
Well, I will call out Ulta.
Yeah.
The beauty category has been so strong, and they have a great user experience through their app. They also have a tremendous loyalty program. Right. And I will tell you, consumers today, they're spending, but they're also looking for perks.
Looking for value, right? Exactly,
and
yes.
like I said, I get buy one, get one free at Walgreens. So why not?
Right.
And I get a $1 coupon off, and I have $4 of cash to put against it. I mean, honestly, I have to shop there for certain things because they make it such a value to me.
Right.
That's dollars that I'm not spending in Walmart or Harps or other retailers. Right. Now, I order a lot from Bath and Body Works.
Right.
Also, a retailer that's done well despite hard times for some people.
Yeah.
If you ever go to the store at Pinnacle, you can never find a parking place. And I order a lot of stuff online.
Yeah.
I'll pick it up, but I'll go early in the morning where I'm there when the store opens, and I can just walk in and get it. I have used their delivery. I will say they do not do a good job shipping because they ship, 3 little items this size in a box this big.
Yes.
That is a waste.
Yeah.
I hate to see that from them. They waste space. It's clunky. It's got to weigh more. I just don't understand the rationale. Do they have boxes just this size? Was there a run on, did they get these free or something? I don't know. But that's the one downside from having it delivered. Now I can pick it up in the store, and I'm a huge fan of pickup.
Yes.
I pick up at Gap. I pick up at Hobby Lobby. I pick up everywhere because I don't like to pay shipping.
Right.
Now Walmart, I'm a Walmart Plus member and a Sam's Plus member, and I do. I can get that free.
Right.
And I do use that some. Sam's more than Walmart, but because I like to walk those stores. But I pick up everywhere because I don't like to pay shipping.
Right.
Now, I have ordered from Wayfair. They don't have a store here.
Right.
They do a good job getting it to you. We ordered a hot tub from them.
So it was delivered?
It was delivered.
Did they set it up and everything?
No, we paid to have it set up.
Okay.
But we ordered kayaks from Sam's Club. I mean, honestly, I've ordered big things and had them delivered, and there's Sam's Club used ABF.
Yeah.
They were using ABF, and they came walking down the street. They parked at the front of this top of the street, and they came walking down the street with my kayaks. Interesting.
That's an interesting experience, huh?
But they were delivered. I honestly think there's a lot of retailers doing it well, but almost everyone can improve.
That's a recurring theme in my store visits and online experiences or omni-channel experience as well. I think one of the things, and you and I have talked about this, that struck me during the 2.5 years I spent in Texas when I was with Texas A&M, I really got to know H-E-B, the Texas-based grocer that not only do they have incredible market share throughout Texas, but obviously they hire a bunch of students from out of Texas A&M. So I had multiple interactions with them, both as a consumer as well as an academic leader. And I was so impressed in the investment they made in training store associates, particularly on how to pick online orders in fresh, in
Yes.
vegetables and fruits and things that a lot of people were hesitant
Exactly.
to let somebody else pick for them. And they invested in associate training, much the way that you and I think about how Walmart has really invested in associate training. And ironically, they did it ahead of the pandemic,
Yes.
before anybody knew that was going to happen. And it paid dividends for them during the pandemic because so many people had to take advantage of that service, didn't want to come inside the store and risk getting sick. And they really won a lot of recognition and I think a lot of customer loyalty through that because of that investment.
Telephone line where you could call in your order.
Yes.
For elderly people who do not or who are not connected to the internet.
Yeah.
That is customer service at its best.
Indeed.
And Walmart, I'm going to give them some accolades too.
Yes.
They gave vaccinations in their parking lots.
Yes.
They were among the retailers who went the extra mile. Harps,
Yes.
another retailer who went the extra mile to be open during the pandemic. Harps CEO Kim Souza told me that he went to work every day during the pandemic to his office, and everyone in his office went to work in the office.
Yeah.
He said, I can't send store managers and checkers and stockers out to work and us shield ourselves.
Stay at home, yeah.
I love that leadership style.
Indeed.
I love that. Retailers that stepped up during the pandemic in any way have earned dividends and they're doing well.
I recall telling my students at the time, because I was teaching at A&M during the pandemic, I said, there are opportunities to learn for you as now students and future leaders of retail, both from people who do things well and people who don't, some of whom didn't survive.
Yes.
They went chapter 11 or chapter 7 and they're no longer with us. But I think it was a great learning opportunity for them that I challenged them to
Yes.
take advantage of and
is-
think about, knowing that they would be future leaders of retail. And this experience of observing was a silver lining in the cloud of a horrible
Yes.
event, right?
That was unprecedented. Those were unprecedented times, and we could all learn something.
Indeed.
I hope we never have to go there again.
I hope we don't have to apply those lessons again, but there was
But,
a
yeah.
learning opportunity,
Those
right?
retailers who stepped up earned dividends for that.
Indeed. So let me give you this challenge. I want you to finish a sentence for me, okay, from your perspective. I think the most interesting innovation in retailing in 2024 is...
Generative AI.
Really? Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I think the future of retailing is going to require more personalization,
Yes.
and
I'm with you on that, by the way.
people want to know that the retailer knows what they want.
Yes.
Generative AI gives the retailers those tools. It will allow retailers to better track what a consumer wants, better deliver coupons and promotions and curated list of things that they may want to buy.
Yes.
It can do it. Retailers will have to figure out a way to do that and not be creepy,
Yeah.
but it will also give retailers the ability to use technology to do mundane tasks that take time,
Yes.
to give them more time to walk stores, to interact with customers,
Yes.
to do the work face to face. And I just think it's a revolutionary technology that will help retailers, propel
Kind of raise the game a little bit,
raise their
right?
game. And those retailers who are first to market, who do this right, are going to be the big winners.
Yeah, I think I've looked at it through the lens of my history as a retailer and been excited not only for the impact, the positive impact that AI can have, but also that it is a very unregulated technology, and we're living through some wild, wild west
Yes,
times
yes.
with the evolution of that technology and how it is used. And I've observed a number of retailers, Walmart among them, kind of put some ethical guardrails around the use of that technology that hopefully will get followed up by appropriate government regulation that doesn't stifle innovation, but puts like rules of the road out there that said this is an ethical use of this technology, this is not, and here's appropriate regulation that kind of puts guardrails around it so that it can be used for positive impact, not for negative impact, right?
Well, Walmart used it in an app called Ask Sam. And that you've been a buyer.
Yeah.
You know the number of reports that you have to run as a buyer in a category.
Yes.
That is a tool that those buyers can use to run their reports so that they have more time to analyze them. It also allows them to be out and be at more trade shows to find more interesting products to bring to market. I love that Walmart is thinking about it, using it internally to make their employees more efficient, their roles more efficient.
Yes.
And you know that buyers have a harder time now. They have more work than ever before as they manage online and store distribution. They manage everything, the whole category, regardless where it's sold.
Yeah.
And they really do need to have their pulse on the consumer.
Indeed.
And I think generative AI will let them do that more efficiently.
I agree, and it's going to be exciting to watch how that evolves in the years ahead. So now let me ask you this from your perspective as a journalist and really monitoring, as I know you do, kind of economic trends and what's happening in the broader business community outside of, but including retail. What's your take on where the consumer is in terms of their spending habits, overall confidence in the economy, the management of their own family budget? I've seen you from time to time write articles related to this, but take that all in.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that right now?
Well, I do follow consumers. I think that they are being more discerning with their discretionary spending.
Yes.
Food costs remain elevated. It costs more for insurance. It costs more for utilities and other necessity services.
Right.
So they have the wherewithal to pay that, but that's less money to splurge on a Coach bag or a Michael Kors bag, say.
Yes.
We've seen luxury sales actually decline. They were on an upward trajectory, but during the holiday season, a number of them saw sales decline.
Right.
And I really think that even the higher end consumers, with the bifurcation that we have, even the higher end consumers are being more cautious about how and where they spend their money. They still treat themselves. Have you eaten out lately? Have you been to Texas Roadhouse? There's an hour wait, no matter what day of the week it is.
Yeah.
People are still eating out. They don't eat out every day. You don't see people eating out at lunch, per se.
Yeah.
But they eat out on the weekends. They eat out at their favorite restaurants, and they're willing to stand in line to do that.
Yes.
I honestly think consumers will spend. They will be careful. They won't overspend. Right. But they will keep spending with an eye on what's the value in it for me. I love to treasure hunt Marshalls and TJ Maxx and these off-price retailers.
Yes.
I'm in there several times a month. I'm always in line because you have to stand in line. I'm always in line minimum 30 minutes. People are still shopping these off-price retailers. By the same token, you can go to the mall and the department stores are not busy.
Right.
Unless they have a big sale on.
Some sort of event.
Consumers are looking for a reason to shop you. Either we want a great value, or we want a big promotion. I think that the buy now, pay later use is also going up.
Yes.
I have a story in this next magazine on that. And you see retailers like Walmart just this week announced through their partnership with One, their own buy now, pay later.
Right.
That's a market that's growing. Now, consumer groups, watch groups have said that's not a good thing. But I will say this, the studies that Klarna and Sezzle have done have shown that their users pay on time.
Yeah.
That's the way they get that Michael Kors bag. They get it in 6 installments with no interest.
Right.
That is the way consumers are still able to get those higher priced items and budget them out.
Right.
That's retailers that can offer that. You go on Amazon, you have 2 or 3 choices now.
Right.
No, people, you don't do that for groceries. You don't do that for,
Consumable type items. Yeah.
You do that for your things that I can get that, but I really would like to pay that off. Now, the option would be to put it on a credit card, but with credit card rates the way they are, it is cheaper for that customer to use a 0% over 4 payments or PayPal or 6 payments, Klarna, however how they want to do it. I think that is a way consumers are still spending too.
Right.
Now, they're taking vacations.
Yes.
Consumers are employed, first of all,
Yes.
and wages are going up. So consumers are still in good shape.
Yeah.
I do think that doesn't mean every retailer will do well.
Right.
Because as I said,
And we've seen that, right?
every retailer is not doing well.
Yeah.
Express filed Chapter 13 this week.
Okay.
They're they sell high-end work apparel. Who wears that anymore? Nobody. I mean, Walmart people wear jeans. Have
Yes.
you been to their own office? I'm just saying.
Yes. Yes.
Unless they change what they sell, they're not gonna be around in 5 years.
Yeah.
I honestly think that the world has changed,
Yeah.
and retailers that stand fast to the way things were pre-pandemic, they may not be around.
We're going to recommend prayer for them.
Yes.
Because they're going to need it.
Something.
They're going to need it, to be sure.
Something.
Yeah. So now let me ask you now, take off your journalist hat, put back on your consumer hat. What types of items do you prefer to buy online? And what types of items do you only prefer to purchase in a physical store? I'm curious, kind of using you as an example of a consumer and an informed consumer. Well, what are your preferences?
I buy almost all my groceries, edibles,
Yeah.
in store.
Right.
Not just Walmart. I shop other stores too.
Yeah.
I do that. Like I said, I like to walk stores, and I don't always know. I'm a cook, and I don't always know what I'm going to cook. And I will go to the store, and we have a meat market in Bella Vista that I shop at, and I look and see what meats look good, where the value is, and then I build my bill around that. So I'm in a store for groceries, consumables, vitamins, toilet paper, paper towel,
Right.
Cascade dish soap. Those things I'll buy at Sam's Club in bulk, or I'll buy them at Walgreens. I'll order them online, usually. I order tons of stuff from Amazon and Shein and Wayfair and other
Yes.
people. I ordered shoes from Shoe Carnival and picked them up in Rogers. They had some flip-flops my husband wanted.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm just saying I order tons of stuff online, and I often will pick it up if there's a store.
Yeah.
I order clothes online.
Yeah.
I do buy clothes in stores too, but your size you can order online. I told you we ordered kayaks and a jacuzzi online. I've ordered big things online. I'm a marketplace fan. Buying secondhand.
Yeah.
That's another retail trend.
The whole circular economy
Yes.
thing. Yes.
And I'm a huge marketplace fan.
Right.
I have leather couches that I bought on Marketplace. I have a king-size headboard in my guest bedroom that I bought on Marketplace. Or Adirondack chairs. I mean, I've bought tons of things on Marketplace. Sometimes they need fixing up. Sometimes they're perfect the way they are. My husband has bought chainsaws, gasoline backpack blowers. We've bought grills. We've bought so many things on Marketplace.
Yeah.
And that's money that's not being spent
In a physical store.
in a physical store.
Yeah. So it feels like you're almost the definition of an omni-channel shopper. You go where it's the best experience for you and where you can find the items you're looking for. What I find interesting through my lens as a merchant is that you are a great example of someone who does the research online, even if you go and buy it in a physical store. And that's kind of one of these trends that I've been kind of harping on for years and years, and that is that so many consumer brands and so many retailers look at online and stores as separate channels, and the interplay between the two, the whole name behind the theme of of my series, the digital front doors. A digital is the entry point for a transaction that may or may not end up happening in a physical store, may or may not happen with a delivery person coming to your home. It's you go where you find the item that you're interested in, right?
I will tell you, recently I did order a TV from Walmart.
Yes.
And it was delivered in 2 hours.
Wow. Wow.
It was delivered from a store.
Yeah.
And that's, if you can order something that can be fulfilled from a store, they can get it to you quickly. The things that I said were taking 3 days, they don't have in stores.
Right.
We ordered a TV. I looked at Nino's Trading Place in Springdale. I looked at Sam's Club. I looked at Amazon, and I looked at Walmart.
Yes.
We needed one for our back deck. Yeah. And so Walmart had a smart TV, 55-inch or whatever. Yeah. They had it at the club in Pineville, Missouri, which is
right over the
where
border.
I live, yes. Yeah. And I ordered it because I'm a Plus member. They delivered it, and they delivered it in 2 hours, and the cover too. So honestly, that was pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't have to drive to Nino had them, but they weren't any cheaper, and I was going to have to drive to Springdale to get them.
Yeah. But that kind of speaks to your comment about one of the things you liked about Amazon is the speed. Well, Walmart used a physical store to provide speed in this case because it was in a store right near you, and 2 hours is incredible.
Yeah, I didn't even have to leave the house. I mean, it was a great experience. So I will be looking at Walmart more closely for big things like that if I can get it in that short time frame.
That makes sense. Well, it's interesting. I think both our respective professional careers as well as our experience as consumers are really kind of blurred lines for both of us, right? And I think we're both indicative of where consumers are headed in the future, and the role that digital and physical play and how we both shop is blurred. It's not a clean line of demarcation. I only shop this way or that way. It's where do I end up finding what I want, the way I want to get it at the price I want to pay, right?
Right. And I don't know, like we talked about value. Every purchase today almost is a value play for a consumer. And retailers that cater to value, that doesn't necessarily mean lowest price. That can mean fastest delivery or, saving me time. Like Walmart says, time is just as important as money.
Yes.
It really is. Time is everything. And I really think that retailers that cater to that, saving time and money, they're going to win.
Exactly. Kim, I've really enjoyed our conversation. I thank you so much for joining us today. For me, our recent store tour in Elm Springs reminded me of my time as a merchant. And a bit of advice from retail leaders I have received, I have to tell you over the years, in short, When faced with a challenge in retailing, when you're not sure how to proceed, you generally can find the answer out in a store and with the people who serve customers every day. And now in omnichannel retailing, combining store visits with data and web analytics, rating center reviews, and call center feedback, and all these touch points with the consumer, it feels like you can really get a more comprehensive view of the consumer, what their unmet needs are, some of the things you and I both talked about from our own experience, not just from our professional view, and probably some ideas of how to improve your business, either if you're a retailer or if you're a consumer brand. And so thank you again for joining us today and sharing your views. Enjoyed walking stores and clubs with you, and hopefully we can get to do it again sometime.
I want to say, Doug McMillan said there are no cash registers in the home office.
He's not the only one that said it, but yes, I've heard him say it more than once.
That is why you find retail leaders out in stores. That's where the rubber meets the road.
Indeed. Well, that's it for this edition of The Digital Front Door. I'm Scott Benedict. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.